Moses tells us exactly how the Nephilim survived the flood. Trust me, 90% of people don't know this truth. Before we dive in, welcome to God's Word Unmasked, where we peel back the layers of biblical history to reveal hidden truths and fascinating stories. If you enjoy our content, consider subscribing, and we promise to keep bringing you engaging and enlightening videos. Today, we are going to discover how the Nephilim survived the flood and came back onto the earth. Some people believe that some giants snuck on the ark, or that another set of fallen angels sinned again in order for the new Nephilims to be produced. There are many theories, but today we will discover the true reason that Moses directly gives us. But before we get started, this is part 3 of our series called The Book of Giants. Please watch parts 1 and 2 first to help with your understanding. To find part 1 or 2, check the link in the description below, or check out the playlist called Book of Giants. Most people believe there were still Nephilims living after the flood. For those who may not know, Nephilim, or giants, were offspring of the fallen angels and earthly women. The main reason God flooded the entire world in the book of Genesis was because of the Nephilims that were created. Now, God stated in Genesis,
"The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown."
During the days of Jared, the fallen angels came down upon the earth and taught man many evil things. The Bible states that even after the days of Jared, the Nephilim were still around after the flood. All the evil that occurred before the flood saddened God because he saw that the wickedness of man was great and that every thought in their hearts was evil. When this happened, God stated,
"I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them."
Even though God was saddened by the human race and all the evil upon the earth, he still favored Noah. The Bible states that during the time of much evil and sin, when the fallen angels came down, Noah was the only pleasure to the Lord. Noah was the only truly righteous man living on the earth at that time. When God saw that the earth was corrupt and full of violence, he told Noah to build an ark out of gopher wood. After the ark was built and Noah took his sons, their wives, and a pair of each animal, the book of Genesis states,
"And all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl and of cattle, and of beast, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man. All in whose nostrils was the breath of life, of all that was in the dry land, died. And every living substance was destroyed which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle, and the creeping things, and the fowl of the heaven. And they were destroyed from the earth. And Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark."
There was obviously no confusion in that verse. The book of Genesis states that every single thing upon the earth had died and no longer lived except for Noah, his sons, their wives, and the pair of animals selected. Now, you might be wondering, if everything had died except for Noah's generation, which was pure, then how did Nephilim enter the earth again? Well, the truth is, most people believe the Nephilim return because of this verse. The book of Numbers, chapter 13, verse 33 states,
"And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak, which come of the giants. And we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight."
Another version of this verse states,
"We saw the Nephilim there, the descendants of Anak come from the Nephilim. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them."
This statement was made when Moses sent 12 spies to explore the land of Canaan. These spies were to scout the land that God had promised to the Israelites and bring back a report. Upon their return, 10 of the spies give a discouraging report, stating that the land, though fruitful, is inhabited by powerful people and fortified cities. They specifically mention the presence of the sons of Anak and describe them as giants. But now the question is, where exactly did these giants come from? Where did these sons of Anak come from to occupy the land of Canaan? The first belief that people have is that a previous giant or Nephilim had snuck onto the ark with Noah or held on to the edges of the ark. Well, let's discover if this is true. To break this down, let's go back to Genesis. The Bible stated right after the flood,
"And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem, and Ham, and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan. These are the 3 sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread."
Okay, let's reverse and hear that again.
These are the 3 sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread.
Okay, perfect. So the Bible states that after the flood, anyone who lived on earth came from Noah's generation, who were Ham, Shem, and Japheth. There were no secret giants that sneaked into the ark or were hanging on the side of the ark for dear life. Noah's son's generation were the only people, as we know it according to the Bible, that populated the world after the flood. This leads us to believe that one of Noah's sons, or wives, may have already given birth to a son that had the fallen angel genetic mutation, or one of Noah's son's wives had the genetic mutation from the fallen angel. And I know some people think that the fallen angels did not give birth to any female giants, but that is inaccurate. Most of the Bible does not mention the multiple women that the sons of God gave birth to. We know that Adam and Eve gave birth to many other children, including females that were not mentioned in the Bible. Either way, we know there were no secret giants that hid on the ark, yet there were giants living in the land of Canaan after the flood, and Goliath was a warrior for the Philistines. So how is this possible? Most people believe this was possible because another group of fallen angels had lusted after human women after the flood, which means a new set of fallen angels had sinned against God once again to create new group of Nephilims. However, the book of Enoch disproves this, because the book of Enoch tells us about the severity of the judgment against the watchers who participated in coming down and sharing earthly secrets with the human women. While in heaven, after God gave judgment to the fallen angels, Michael stated to Raphael,
"The power of the Spirit transports and makes me tremble because of the severity of the judgment of the secrets, the judgment of the angels. Who can endure the severe judgment which has been executed and before which they melt away?"
Michael said again,
"Who is he whose heart is not softened concerning it, and whose reins are not troubled by this word of judgment that has gone forth upon them, because of those who have thus led them out? I will not take their part under the eye of the Lord, for the Lord of spirits has been angry with them because they do as if they were the Lord. Therefore, all that is hidden shall come upon them forever and ever, for neither angel nor man shall have his portion in it, but alone they have received their judgment forever and ever."
With all this, Michael told Raphael that he felt scared because of the severe judgment given to the angels. Michael pretty much said he would not want to be in the position the watchers were in, and other angels would have to be extremely dumb to follow the watchers' footsteps. He even wondered who could handle such harsh punishment. Michael also said that no one could remain calm about this judgment because of those who led them astray. When Michael stood before the Lord, he told Raphael that he wouldn't defend the angels because the Lord was angry with them for acting like they were God. Everything hidden will be revealed, and the angels and humans who sinned will face their judgment forever. So Michael made it clear that not a single angel would ever want to make the same mistake the watchers made, because they would not like to face the judgment of eternity God gave the watchers. So if all of these are false, then how did the Nephilim actually survive the flood? There are 2 options. The first one is through Ham's generation, and possibly Japheth. We know from Genesis that Noah had 3 sons who left the ark with him: Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Ham is the father of Canaan. These 3 sons are the ancestors of all the people on the earth, according to the Bible, which states,
And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem, and Ham, and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan. These are the 3 sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread.
We know that sometime after the flood was over, and Noah's generation came out of the ark, Noah got drunk, and Ham, the son of Noah, ended up doing something bad, which will be discussed in another video. Because of this, Noah cursed Ham's generation. Noah did not directly curse Ham, but specifically cursed Ham's generation, specifically Canaan. Noah stated,
Cursed be Canaan. A servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren.
Did you know that most people believe that Ham's entire generation was cursed, and because of that, black people are cursed? Ham wasn't cursed. There is no curse of Ham in Genesis 9 or anywhere else in the Bible. Canaan, not Ham, was cursed by Noah. This means that the biblical doctrine used to justify the enslavement of dark-skinned peoples is completely fabricated and has no exegetical warrant. Okay? If you are learning something new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let's return to the video. Now, let's take a look at Ham's generation. The Bible states, The sons of Ham were Cush and Mizraim, which were Egyptians in the Bible, and Phut and Canaan. Just a reminder, after Ham did something in the tent in the book of Genesis, Noah stated,
Cursed be Canaan. A servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren.
Ham had multiple sons, but only Canaan was cursed. In the land of Canaan, giants were apparently living. From Genesis chapter 10, you will see all of Ham's generation. We know the Canaanites came from Ham's generation, and they were cursed by Noah. We know Nimrod came from Ham's generation, as did the Philistines and all the Egyptians. I'm not going to list every single one of them, but you get the idea. The descendants of Canaan spread from Sidon all the way to Gerar in the Gaza Strip, and to Sodom and Gomorrah. The children of Canaan were
Sidon his firstborn, and Heth, and the Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgasite, and the Hivite, and the Archite, and the Sinite, and the Arvadite, and the Zemarite, and the Hamathite, and afterward were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad.
These are all the descendants of Canaan, who built nations and families for themselves. This same group of people continued to sin, committed the biggest sin, and also had giants mixed in their genetic blood. In Deuteronomy chapters 7 to 20, God provided instructions to the Israelites as they prepared to enter the promised land, Canaan. God commanded the Israelites to completely destroy the Canaanite nations, inhabiting the land, to prevent them from leading the Israelites into idolatry and immoral practices. This command was part of God's broader plan to establish a holy and faithful nation in the land he had promised to their ancestors. God states,
But of the cities of these people, which the Lord thy God doth give thee for an inheritance, thou shalt save alive nothing that breatheth, but thou shalt utterly destroy them, namely the Hittites, and the Amorites, the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, as the Lord thy God hath commanded thee.
He stated again to the Israelites,
When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hath cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them, and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them.
With all of this being said, we know that the sin of the fallen angels had specifically passed through Canaan's generation. For example, if we know genetics, we know that there are dominant and recessive traits. If gigantism was a recessive trait within the Canaanite genes, as they continue to breed with each other, sooner or later, somewhere along the line, a giant like Goliath would be produced, or the giants that lived in the land of Canaan. This is why God was trying to get rid of all the Canaanites and all of Canaan's generation. Does that make sense? No? Okay, let's break it down. Let's use blue and brown eyes as an example. Brown eyes will represent normal humans, while blue eyes will represent gigantism. Dominant traits, like brown eyes or normal humans God created, show up if at least one person holds the trait or the gene is present. Recessive traits, like blue eyes or gigantism, needs 2 genes, one from each parent, to show up. Recessive traits can be hidden for generations, but can pop up as luck, or can reappear if 2 carriers have children. So with that being said, if a person on Noah's Ark had a recessive trait for gigantism, like the fallen angels, most of their descendants might look normal. However, if 2 carriers of the recessive trait have a child, there's a chance that child could be a giant, just like Goliath. In essence, recessive traits can stay hidden for many generations and reappear when the right genetic combination occurs. This principle explains how traits, including physical characteristics like eye color, or even the potential for gigantism, can be passed down through generations and sometimes reemerge. Recessive traits like gigantism can grow even more if people are marrying within their family, which we are aware, back in those days, people of the Bible had incestuous relationships. According to the Book of Jubilee, the Book of Enoch, and the Book of Jasher, there were many incestuous relationships. Even in the Bible, the Book of Genesis tells us that Sarah was Abraham's sister. Genesis chapter 20 states,
"And yet indeed she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife."
This verse shows that Sarah was Abraham's half-sister, sharing the same father but having different mothers. They still got married, so we assume even before Abraham and Sarah, this was something that was occurring in the days of Adam, Jared, and the days of Noah. This explains why the recessive traits of gigantism may have grown in the lineage of the Canaanites, because many of them were getting married within their own tribe. But we know in Leviticus 18:9, God had solved this problem and stated to the Israelites,
"The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or daughter of thy mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover."
In fact, did you know Goliath was part of Ham's generation? The Bible states,
"And there went out a champion out of the camp of the Philistines, named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span. And there was yet a battle in Gath, where was a man of great stature, that had on every hand 6 fingers, and on every foot 6 toes, 24 in number. And he also was born to the giant. And when he defied Israel, Jonathan the son of Shemaiah, the brother of David, slew him. These 4 were born to the giant in Gath, and fell by the hand of David, and by the hand of his servants.
We know from Genesis that
the sons of Ham were Cush, and Mizraim, and Phut, and Canaan.
Mizraim was also known as Egypt.
And Mizraim begat Pathrusim, and Casluhim, out of whom came Philistim, and Caphtorim.
So Philistine derived from the generation of Ham. This can all be found in Genesis chapter 10. Now, if you're still a little confused, feel free to rewatch the video. It took me a couple of times to make sense of everything. The whole point is that because the world was so corrupt, even though Noah was pure, his sons' wives may not have been. Ham had many sons, but his one son, Canaan, may have had a recessive trait of gigantism, which specifically spread throughout his lineage. That's why God desired to get rid of the Canaanites, and Moses made this clear in the book of Genesis by consistently separating Canaan from generation of Noah. Moses wrote,
"And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his 2 brethren without. And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem, and Ham, and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan.
Canaan was where most of the giants lived.
And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak, which come of the giants. And we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight. The Emims dwelt therein in times past, a people great, and many, and tall, as the Anakims, which also were accounted giants as the Anakims. But the Moabites called them Amims.
This is why God did not want the Canaanites to continue living, nor for the Israelites to marry or have children with them. Deuteronomy chapter 7 stated,
You are not to intermarry with them. You are not to give your daughters to their sons, nor take their daughters for your sons.
Now, there you have it. Overall, this is the first and most likely reason that the giants came about in those days. If you would like to see the second reason, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we will post another video regarding this. This is a side note. I really appreciate every single subscriber. Right now, we are on a journey to 50K subscribers. Please subscribe and share our videos. Our promise to you for taking the time to like, comment, and share is to bring you the best quality videos with multiple secrets from all the books. I want everyone to keep in mind that this channel focuses not just on the Bible, but also on all the stories of God, the Ethiopian Bible, and the Apocryphas. Please check the description box below. We try our best to leave supportive documents to read and Bible verses.